Epidemiologists currently advising the UK government agreed that with hindsight, the UK could have gone into lockdown earlier. Boris Johnson was once more forced to defend his strategy, saying it is too early to evaluate the crisis. He unveiled fresh lockdown loosening measures at a Downing Street briefing yesterday. Well, let's find out what some of those measures are. We can go to London now and speak to our reporter, Victoria Smith. Morning to you, Victoria. So the next stage of restrictions easing, particularly in England, come into force on Saturday. Positive news for single people living alone. Just tell us what the next stage looks like and how's it being received?
Good morning, Rosie. Well, there's a new phrase in the English language this morning, and that phrase is support bubble. So let me try and explain what that means. It's the latest in the government's measures to ease lockdown, to try to provide support for those who've been suffering from isolation and loneliness. So it applies to one household, which would be a single parent with children or a single person living alone, forming a support bubble with another household. Now, that support bubble must be exclusive and doesn't apply to people shielding, people who've been told to stay indoors, to stay away from other households. So it has to be an exclusive support bubble, which means that you have to choose pretty carefully. Let me give you an example of the kind of people, the kind of situations that this support bubble could apply to. For example, a grandparent can pick one of their children and their family to form a support bubble with. It's a kind of Sophie's choice for them. They have to choose one child and one set of grandchildren and stick to that. A single parent, for example, could see another parent or friend, and in what's being called a lover's charter, if you like, two single people could see each other. Perhaps two partners who don't live together could now form an exclusive support bubble, but only if they have a single occupancy household, or if their flatmate or the other occupants of their house are willing to form that support bubble. It is a bit confusing. It has led to some questions already. We saw in the briefing yesterday that even Boris Johnson and Chris Whitty, his chief medical advisor, had to try and clarify what it meant. But the aim is a decent one. It aims to help people ease themselves out of isolation who've been stuck on their own for all this time. Let's see how it shapes up.
Victoria, thank you very much, our reporter there in London.